you set, sir?
I'm set.
Okay, we're good to go.
Yeah.
Hello, listeners. Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome. Welcome to today's program. And this program is brought to you by Ziva Community Initiative. And the project is the role of artisanal and small scale miners ASM in energy transition and climate change mitigation in Nigeria. And this project is supported by the African Center for Energy Policy. Today we are focusing on yet another essential and often overlooked topic: health and safety in artisanal and small scale mining ASM. ASM is a lifeline for millions globally, but it comes with significant risks. In this episode, we will explore the common health and safety risks miners face, discuss the ways to address these concerns, and highlight best practices and the role of government and non government organizations in improving safety standards. Joining me today in the studio is Engineer Gotan Benjamin James, retired Director of Mineral Investment and former Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Plateau State. Good morning, sir, and welcome on the program.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
All right. The program will kickstart in earnest right after this short break. Do stay with us. And remember, the program is segmented into two segments. The first segment is the interview segment, where Engineer Gotan will be responding to some key questions. And the second segment is where you, the listener, can be part of the program when we open our phone line to you for you to call in and contribute, or to ask my guest a question or two. So do stay with us. We will be right back. Okay. All right. Good afternoon, listener. Once more, you are welcome back. This is Radio Nigeria, Highland 101.5 FM. Just my name is Stephen Ego, and you're welcome on today's program. And this program is brought to you by Ziva Community Initiative. And the project we are focused on is the role of artisanal and small scale miners ASM in energy transition and climate change mitigation in Nigeria. The program is supported by the Africa Center for Energy Policy. Today, our topic of discuss is health and safety in artisanal and small scale mining. Health and safety in artisanal and small scale mining. And as we all know, ASM is a lifeline for many globally. But it comes with certain or significant risks, which my guest on today's program will be addressing. Like I said, our topic of discuss is health and safety in artisanal and small scale mining. Once more, my guest is Engineer Gotan Benjamin James, retired Director of Mineral Investment and former Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health at Plateau State. Once more, good afternoon and welcome on the program, sir.
Good afternoon, and thank you, listeners.
All right, don't forget, listener, you can stream us on www.frcnnorthcentral.ng. That is www.frcnnorthcentral.ng. And also, you can tune in on Radio Nigeria Highland 101.5 FM. Just not forgetting, the program is segmented. We'll have two segments The first segment is the interview segment, and the second is the phone-in segment, where you get to be part of the program. All right, sir. Let's get the ball rolling, shall we?
Yeah.
ASM is often operates in informal settings with limited regulations. Could you describe the most common health risks miners face? Could you could you could you describe the most common risks miners face?
Thank you very much. I think before we start the discussion, I want to appreciate Ziva Community Initiative and their supporters as far as this program is concerned. And I think we don't have any time better than now to discuss these issues, considering what is actually happening within the state. The truth about it is that ASM, covered a broad spectrum of activities. It is actually a livelihood strategy that is normally adopted, in the rural areas. But the unfortunate thing is that this particular work as artisanal and small scale miners is actually associated with so many issues. And some of the issues are social issues. We have social disruption, we have conflicts, and we have the potentiality of this particular activity to environmental damage and degradation. Now, you find out that there are a lot of health issues that are actually related to this particular work. Now, I think one of the problems we have is that these people lack knowledge. And because they lack knowledge, there is a problem. Because if they have knowledge, certainly there are some of these issues, health issues that are associated with this work, they would have mitigated. Now, another issue that these people have has to do with lack of money. Because if they have money, there are some certain measures that they would have taken. Those measures would have reduced the health problem that they have. Now, one of the health problem associated with this particular work is that most of this work that is being done by these people, it is being done in a crude way. And certainly also, you find out that they are not following legal and formal ways of doing this particular work. Let me give you an example. One of the examples we have is that there is one common lung problem we call silicosis. Now, this silicosis is as a result of, inheriting of grounded quartz. Quartz, let me put it in a layman's language, is like sand. This sand that we get. So when you grind it into powder form, the air is blowing here and there, and the person that is actually working, he's inhaling it, and by the time that he inhales it, with time, with that accumulation, he has lungs problem. Now, we also have a problem of, in certain climes, we have the problem of lead poisoning. You saw what happened in year 2010, around March 2010, everywhere in Nigeria, in the media, it was gogged with issues that there were people that were dying in two local governments in Zamfara state, Bukium and Engr. Now, records have it that between 200 and 400 people died. In a certain family, about 11 people died. What was the problem? Lead poisoning. And what actually happens is that when they get lead, they use this grinding mill and they are grinding it. And there is dust coming up. So this dust that is actually coming up, you find out that the air is blowing it from one place to the other. Later it gets settled. And even the people that are walking, they carry it in their fingers and the rest. And and people were just dying. So people didn't know what is the reason behind this death until Doctors Without Borders were able to establish the fact that this is as a result of lead poisoning. We have cyanide poisoning. We have mercury poisoning. So these are actually some of these diseases that are actually found in this particular act of trying to mine in a crude way.
Very interesting. Thank you, Mr. Engineer Benjamin. In terms of safety, can we discuss what are the primary causes of these accidents? Let's talk about the physical accidents now.
Okay.
That come up with ASM, such as mine collapses or equipment failures, and how environmental factors like poor ventilation or flooding increase risks for miners. Can we talk about this now?
Well, you see, like I said, one characteristic of this particular work is the fact that the people lack knowledge. And because they don't have knowledge of what they are actually doing, it becomes a problem to them. Then the other issue is, I said, there's the issue of lack of money. Now, if they have knowledge, they will understand, like the issue of grinding that we're talking about, that instead of allowing the air to take all this, the best thing to do is to see how you can trap it. Now, the issue of mine collapse. If they have the knowledge, certainly you know that when you are walking, there are hanging walls. You are just tunneling, you are going down, and you are allowing the wall to be hanging. Now, what you are supposed to do is you have to timbering of your shafts, the walls, and the roofs. Now, because they lack knowledge, as far as they are concerned, wherever they are just finding whatsoever they are looking for, they will just go and they will continue to work. And there is something that we know, professionally, that faulting could occur, and then the direction of the mineral could change where the ore is. Now you will just be going and forgetting that you have allowed, a hanging wall. And before that, what will happen is that you will be hearing about mine collapses. But if they had the resources and they have the knowledge, they know that as you are tunneling, you get to a certain point that there is nothing you can do than to have timber, so that you support the hanging wall and support the different roofs and the wall, so that it will be able to stand for you to continue. So these are actually some of the problems that occur, because they are just mining for mining's sake. All they want is that let us win our deposit to be able to sell it.
Okay, let's talk about hazards associated with mining.
Yeah.
And this time in reference to working in tin sheds.
Okay.
Because I've been to a tin shed,
Yeah.
and I've seen the amount of dust when they're using their air float machines and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us about those health challenges associated with working in such tin sheds?
You see, while I was still in government, what Plateau State government did was that we found out that the radiation is also another problem associated with this type of work. Now we find out that the radiation readings are so high, and these radiation readings in some of these tin sheds, you find out that they are above the World Bank annual intake limit. So with that, the state government decided to buy radiation meters. And what government did, we have a mineral policy for Plateau State. What the government included is that every quarter we will visit your tin shed. And when we go to your tin shed, we will take the reading. If the reading is above the World Health Organization annual limit intake, we will warn you and tell you that your workers there are in trouble. Unfortunately, too, you find out that this issue of dust that I'm talking about, we find out that most of the people who own these tin sheds, they are supposed to be giving these people masks so that as they work, but also the people are problematic. These are some of the problems, because there are situations that we speak to the people and said, these are people that are working for you to have money. If these people die, how will you make your money? And they said the problem is that most of these safety kits that they give them, they complain about. Some, even because they are looking for money, they sell them, and some they don't even use it. And because they don't use it, you find out that you have a problem. And I don't know whether that is what is making the owners of the tin sheds to be lackadaisical about this particular issue. But the truth about it is that they are supposed to be giving these people safety kits. And I told them, if these people die, how will you get your money? Now, if people continue to die in your tin shed, and then tomorrow, who will want to work there? And at times, we just associate it with the fact that maybe somebody killed him, somebody did this and that. Unfortunately, it is this dust that he is taking day in and day out, and then, it accumulates. And before you know, you have different type of problem. So at a point, if you see the mineral house that was built in Bukur, what government did was that they made sure that wherever sun is coming to work on that place, the radiation reading must be taken. Okay. So I think the issue is that these tin sheds should be made whether the people like it or not, for their safety and for them to break even in their work than their workers falling sick today and tomorrow. They should make them and enforce it that people must use safety kits while working in their tin sheds.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, engineer. Still on the tin shed issue, are there any standard procedures for building such tin sheds? Is there any building codes that if you must have a tin shed, you must abide by? In terms of ventilation for the workers there and health safety measures.
One thing that we have seen of recent, on the plateau, is that once there's an outburst of the increase in price of any mineral, you find out that everybody rushed into it. One thing that has been of great concern to the commissioner, Honorable Peter K. Gom, of recent is the fact that a lot of these tin sheds are being built within communities where people are living. You find that some people even have these tin sheds in their houses. And you find out that their children, their workers, and everybody, children who don't have high immune system are also affected. But and one of the things that we have tried to do is that certainly government organs need to work together, and there must be synergy among government organs. Now you find out that these licenses are not actually given by the state government, they are given by the federal government, and we want a situation whereby they should be able, to make sure that these particular things are positioned in specific places. It's not only the issue of even mining. Go around and see. People are even setting mechanical workshop in front of their houses. You go near water bodies, you find that people are setting mechanical workshops close to the water body. Is it supposed to be so? I think what we are thinking of is that government should be able to, demarcate places whereby if you go, you are looking for tin. If you enter this place, you know that the business that is taking place in this place, it is tin. So it will be able, it will be easier control than what we have now. Communities where people are living, they are just grinding all sort of things, and then people are just inhaling different things. You sleep in the night at times. When you wake up in the morning, it's as if you were beaten by somebody overnight. These are some of the things that people are inhaling.
All right, let's talk about safety measures and programs or initiatives. Are there any safety initiatives or programs for these miners to reduce incidents of accidents in this sector?
Yeah, you see, every business in Nigeria, there is a policy guiding it, and people are supposed to work by those policies. Now, when artisanal and small-scale miners are not formalized, as far as government and environmentalists are concerned, these people are working negatively. Now, formalization of ASMs into cooperative is what the federal government has been pursuing. It's what even on the plateau we've been trying as much as possible to see that these people are formalized into cooperatives. Now, the problem of people is that when you say you are going to be formalized into cooperatives, the first thing that comes into their mind is that what they are going to make out of their savings, you are going to erode it. So they are afraid of money. And I don't know which one is better. Is it when you are formalized into a cooperative? This is what actually happened. You will be able, through the Federal Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, they will be able to visit you from time to time. And then, there are extension services that are actually given to you. They will go there. When you are working, they look at the way you are working. Like what we started with, talking about these hanging walls. If you have gotten to a dangerous position, they will be able to tell you that this is a problem. So watch out. And you see, when you are using compressors and then you are using water pumps and you are bringing them down into the pit where you are working, there are fumes and the others, they will tell you. What happened is that those engines and machines take the oxygen that you are actually taking, and then they will release carbon dioxide to you. So you end up killing yourself. But because people are afraid that you are going to ask them, go and register with Ministry of Commerce and Industry as a cooperative, come and then you will be given an artisanal mining certificate so that you will be a mining cooperative. As far as they are concerned, they don't want to part with money. They are running away, but they are causing more harm to them. What does it take now? You make money and you end up in the hospital. Is it not better for you to pay whatsoever you're going to pay at a point so that, yeah, you will live healthy and enjoy your money?
Okay, could it also be the fear, like you said,
Yeah.
parting with cash, parting
Yes.
with their own money,
Yeah.
and also the lack of trust in the system or those policies that, okay, in terms of coming together as a cooperative to be
Yeah.
able to access funds and training,
Yeah.
that at the end of the day, these funds would not come and the training possibly will not come as well.
Well, the issue of cooperative is that you manage yourself. Cooperative is an issue that you agree with each other. It's not the fact that I just come and pick people for you. You are people who are doing the same business and you agree and you come together. That is what you form a cooperative. So if you are able to form yourself into a cooperative, it means that you trust yourself. So once that certificate is given to you, there is a register and they know that this is so XYZ cooperative. And if XYZ cooperative is having a problem, it's for them to go to the artisanal and small scale department and said, this is the problem we're having. There could be instances, maybe the moment you are walking, your paddock or the tunnel is filled up with water and you don't know what to do. When you get there, essential services will be given to you. So anything that has to do with money, it is you. These government workers are paid to do that work. If you are not there, they will not do their work. So for us not forming ourselves into cooperatives, at a certain point we are making those people in that office redundant.
Okay, you've talked about extension services and programs. Can you give us an example of one that has been successful?
Well, one I remember, I may be using names now. I remember when, not trying to blow their trumpet. I remember once upon a time when Honorable Bagos was in the House of Representatives, he found out that he is from a community that one of the peculiar work they do, apart from the fact that it's an agrarian society, they are into mining. He organized, a program that as part of his constituency outreach. So he brought people from Federal Ministry of Solid Mineral. And they brought various people that are into mining from various communities where he's representing. And there they were taught. And there, I believe also because there is an artisanal and small scale manual, a handbook that is produced by the Federal Ministry of Solid Mineral. And those things were distributed to them. So I believe that those who actually gained and took what they were taught and they went with it, I am sure it was of help to them. Now, I remember, is it a year or two ago? No, 2 years ago, Ziva Community Initiative, together with RAMFAC and UNDP, they were able to choose some cooperatives who are actually people who are working in communities. They took the pain of, registering them as cooperative, footing all the bill for cooperatives, and not only that, they gave them basic working equipments. And at that particular place, before giving those equipments, I remember safety, health and safety was taught there. And the minerals that we have in Nigeria, narrowing it down to Plateau State, was taught there. And then, if you were taught these are what you have, what is the next thing? We know you people are into working. What are we supposed to do? And then they were able to taught them. Right? The next question is that, did they really use the equipment? That I cannot say. But they were trained. Did they actually use the knowledge? I don't know. But they were actually trained. And this is because we want people to live so that they can make money.
All right, thank you very much. Talking about safety, let's talk about accessibility now.
Yeah.
Having said a lot about safety, do you feel there's adequate access to health services in mining communities? And if not, what could be done to improve this situation?
Well, one of the problems associated with this issue of ASM is the fact that maybe is it lack of knowledge that I said. Because if they are working in the pits, one thing we expect is that there should be medical kits close to them. Because anything that happen, you will be able to help such a person. Two, you find out that these people where they are actually working may not be close to where there are medical facilities, in the sense that they work in the bush. So if they work in the bush, they may be far away from those particular places. But another thing that I have said is that if they agree and they are able to work and they form themselves into cooperatives, I am sure if they bring those type of cry and government is seeing what they are doing, they are working by what they are told to do, I am sure they will set up medical facilities for them. But for now, one thing is that this artisanal and small scale mining work is a hit and run work. Because they work here, after some time, they have disappeared. So if you are to set a medical facility for them, who is going to use it after that? If you remember the one that I think I and the commissioner we were almost injured on the way to Rayfield before getting to this your place. Is it a year or two ago, they invaded that place close to Silvery Mills.
Yes.
Yeah, we went there. The commissioner lost the windscreen of his vehicle there. How we were attacked. And now they are not there. So if you have said a medical facility, okay, if there are medical facilities in that particular place, it will be underutilized. But I think the best thing is that if they are formed into cooperatives and they are trained, they will know that when you are going to work in those places, you need to have your medical kits together with you, at least for first aid. When it is beyond your level, you move ahead.
I was going to ask that question, but you have just responded to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, listener, you've been listening to my engagement with Engineer Gotan Benjamin James, a retired director of Mineral Investment and former Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Plateau State. And the program is brought to you, this radio engagement is brought to you by Ziva Community Initiative. And our focus is the role of artisanal and small-scale miners ASM in energy transition and climate change mitigation in Nigeria. And our topic of discuss today is health and safety in artisanal and small-scale mining ASM. We shall be taking a break, and when we return, we shall open our phone lines to you for you to call in and be part of the program. Do stay with us. Hold on, sir.
Thank you.
How far we're good? All right. Okay. Okay, set, sir.
Are we going to wear it down?
Yes. All right, you're welcome back on the program. This is Radio Nigeria Highland 101.5 FM Jos. My name is Stephen Ego, and this radio engagement is brought to you by Ziva Community Initiative, and it is supported by the Africa Center for Energy Policy. And the project we're dealing with, or we're focusing on, is the role of artisanal and small-scale miners ASM in energy transition and climate change mitigation in Nigeria. Our topic for discussion today is health and safety in artisanal and small-scale mining ASM, and my guest is Engineer Gotan Benjamin James, retired Director of Mineral Investment and former Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Plateau State. And not forgetting, you can stream us live on www.frcnnorthcentral.ng. That is www.frcnnorthcentral.ng. You can stream us there, or you can tune in to Radio Nigeria Highland 101.5 FM Jos. All right, our phone lines are available for you to call in and be part of the program. Just dial 070 3535 2560. 070 3535 2560. That's the number to call and be part of the program. If you have any concerns or comments or contribution, call in and let us know. 070 3535 2560. That's 070 3535 2560. All right, so while we wait for the calls to come in, what role do you think partnership between mining communities, private companies, and government agencies play in promoting best practices?
Well, I appreciate this question, Mr.
Okay,
Steve.
sorry, before you
Okay.
you go ahead, I think we have a question coming in.
Okay.
A call coming in. Hello, good afternoon. Hello? Hello, good afternoon. All right, I think we have lost that call. Do endeavor to call back. The number still remains 070 3535 2560. That's 070 3535 2560. Call in and be part of the program. All right, let us hear your comments, contributions, or questions for my guest. 070 3535 2560. This is your opportunity to be part of the program. So, while we wait for the call to come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I said what rules the world today is partnership.
Okay.
Because everywhere today you find out that nobody can do it alone, and the world is not no place is an island, so we work together. Now, certainly, if we must have best practices in the mining, first the government has its policies. The policies are there, and if government will be able, to enforce these laws and policies. For example, we have the mining law is there. We also have the mining regulations. They are there. When you come down to Plateau State, we have the Plateau State Mineral Policy. It is there. Now, the role that government can play is having policies and then making sure that those policies are actually implemented. Now, when you go to the communities, the minerals are there in the communities. And whatsoever devastation that is happening is in the communities. Whatsoever deforestation is taking place is actually in the communities.
Oh, okay, sorry, sir. Sorry to interject. Hello, good afternoon. All right. We seem to be having some network issues, but do endeavor to call back. The number still remains 070 3535 2560. That's 070 3535 2560.
And then I said the communities, actually whatsoever devastation, whatsoever problem, the loss of life and the rest is actually in the communities. Now, and the private miners are actually the off-takers. Now, this is a tripod stand. And if actually we must achieve best practices as it is done in other climes, these three people must trust each other, work together so that they will be able to agree, and then we will have the best of mining on the plateau. When the community are not trusting the government, and when the community are not agreeing, because there are certain situations that government, because it's enforcing to make sure that.
Okay, I think we have a call.
Okay.
Hello, good afternoon. Yes, please, can you tell us your name and where you're calling from, please? Please tell us your name and where you're calling from, please. I would like to know your name, please. Hello?
It seems as if it's
Okay, he's just calling to appreciate.
Appreciate.
But we would have loved to get his name and number. Okay, thank you for your appreciation. Thank you very much for the commendation. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, like the experience I shared with you the last time we came together with the commissioner
Yes.
to be able to make sure that these people that are diverse, because it is Ministry of Environment and Mineral Development. So the minerals are in the environment. So certainly when we get there and the people in the community gang up and start chasing us, there's problem. Because we're there to make sure that people are supposed to mine in the best way that is as is found in other in other climes too. And for the off takers, how I wish there were certain years in this country we are talking about blood diamond.
Yes.
When diamonds come from places where people are being killed and not collecting it, and the rest, and then in developed climes they will reject it. But I know it might be difficult for us here, but we're able to do. If you go to a place that people are dying and then all you are concerned is to get your tin or get whatsoever and go, it will not. So I think we are the government, the private, the miners, and the community are supposed to be partners. But I think what would help them so that we'll be able to achieve best practices is trust. Let them trust that what government want you to do is for your own betterment. And let the community accept that these people are not sending us and trying to deprive us of our livelihood, but they want you to do it in the best way so that you will live alive and then enjoy your money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in this tripod that you just mentioned,
Yeah.
where we're talking about the mining communities, private companies, and government agencies, who is the primary beneficiary of partnership? Who will stand to benefit the most from this partnership?
Honestly, I want to see it as to me, I look at it as the community. The community stand to benefit best because if best practices are adopted, you will not be losing the people in your community. So the people will be alive. So, and then at the end of the day, as I was just driving in for this program, I was just sharing with you before we started that I heard in JFM, a lady was there crying that artisanal and small scale miners have worked, and had entered. So her house is just hanging, and then places are actually, collapsing. But you see, if best practices are adopted, the community will be safe. There was one word she used, and I agree with it. We are in a time that, there are security issues. God forbid that anything happen in the night and you don't know the place, you are running for your life. Instead of trying to get to safety, you will end up killing yourself. So that is the problem that we have. So I think the community stand, the best chances of them getting the best out of best practices.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate some of these best practices?
Well, like we said, we have said one, most of this legal, this issue of artisanal miners, they are not following the legality. Because what is the legality? You are supposed to first and foremost register, like we said, formalize as a cooperative society. I think it's a best practice. You formalize as that. Then when you formalize yourself as a mining cooperative, you will come. When you come, you'll be registered. And there's something that was said about this issue of ASMs. There are certain places that you find out that if big companies are actually working, if they find out that the money they are going to spend in certain parts, will not give them anything much, we call it marginal fields. You who is having your crude basic.
Okay, I think we have
Another
a
call.
call coming in. Hello? 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 Hello, good afternoon. Hello, please, can you turn down the volume on your radio set or move away from the radio, please? Can you turn it down or move away from it? Hello? Okay, I think we've lost our call.
Oh.
Please endeavor to call back 070 3535 2560. 070 3535 2560. And please, when you call, can you turn down the volume on your radio set or move away from it so that we can receive you loud and clearly, okay? Hello. Hello, good afternoon. Hello?
It's a baby crying.
Yes, hello? Yes, hello, please. Can you move away from your radio set, please, so we can hear you loud and clearly? Deborah, please, can you move away from your radio set? You are echoing. Hello, Deborah? All right, Deborah, please, when you call back, move away from your radio set so that we don't have an echo on our own end. Listener, the number still remains 070 3535 2560. 070 3535 2560. Call and be part of the program. Thank you very much. Okay, please go ahead.
So,
Practices.
you know, when you get there, you find out that if there are marginal fields with some of these mining companies, large mining companies, to some certain extent, you find out that they will be able to give you. Now, areas to work on, then they will take over from you.
All right, we have another call. Hello, good afternoon. Yes, afternoon and welcome on the program. Okay, Alhaji Bola. Okay, thank you very
Yeah.
much, Alhaji Bola, for your contribution on the program. That was Alhaji Bola talking about, first of all, he commended what you had to say on the program, and he asked that government does more empowerment and sensitization for the people, and he mentioned the fact that so many women are involved in this transaction, and if government can come to their aid, give them direction, and give them the technical know-how to go about their businesses.
Yeah.
So what
So,
do you have to
what
say?
you Alhaji Bola, well, Mungode, certainly what I want to say is this, is that government cannot just go into a community and just start giving money for giving sake. If you want to be empowered, certainly when you are formed into cooperatives, I tell people, it's easier for you to give government and draw back from government. If you don't give government, how do you draw back? If you are afraid of forming cooperatives, I agree with him 100% what he says. Because history has actually shown that these artisanal and small scale miners, it will surprise you that even this place that we started, I was talking to you on the way to refill. If you are going to sit down and take statistics, you find that you may find Malians, you may find people coming from Niger, you may find, because it is a mobile thing. I don't know how they get to know. And when people come like that, they come with different type of you know, characters, different types of values. And when you get to these places, you find out that drugs, alcohol, and all sorts of things are being sold there, enhancing drugs and the rest. And I think if they, even not because of that, that day we didn't do anything, but for them to start stoning us, you know that there is something different.
Sorry to interject, another call is coming in. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Who's on the line, please? Sorry, who's on the line, please? Sorry, what's your name, please? Where are you calling us from? Yes, can you move away from your radio set? Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you. Hello, good afternoon. The children in the background. There's so much noise in the background. All right. Um, Please, when you call, can you move away from your radio set and can you move away from a noisy background because it's coming into the studio with and we can hardly hear you. You're not audible enough for us. Okay. 070-3535-2560. That's the number to call in to be part of the program. 070-3535-2560. All right. I don't know if you were done or you're still.
Yeah, no. So there are influx of migrants and people coming with different
So that
characters.
poses a security risk. It poses a security challenge as well.
Even to the community.
Yes.
So for that reason, if you are formed into cooperatives and whosoever is working in a certain place, government will be able to know that it is also so cooperative that is working. So if there are bad eggs, it's easier to fish them out and say, you don't belong to this place. So what is your mission here? So I agree with him, but let the people who are doing the work form themselves into cooperatives. And it's easier to ask government. Now we have formed ourselves into cooperatives. We need working capital. How will you help us out? I think that would be better.
Also, getting into the cooperative, like you just mentioned, also aids our security safety.
Yes.
Because when they come together, they know each other.
They know each other.
They can, like you said, identify strangers in their midst and equally police themselves and their community. Thank you very much for that submission, Engineer. Okay, in your opinion, what simple changes or tools could make the biggest difference in safety for ASM miners, and are there traditional methods or community-driven practices that can prove effective in reducing some of these risks we've mentioned?
Well, we have actually one of the community practices that existed before and which has actually helped in policing even our places is that anybody coming in new in a community, he's known. If he comes and sleep in Mr. X's house, Mr. X should be able to tell the community leader that so person is in town and he's staying with me. And I think I don't know where we miss this thing, that you just allowed anybody to come. When he just gives money to the community leader, he doesn't know where he's coming from, and he will just accept him like that. So if those practices are used, we'll be able to know who is working. Even when we are talking about reclaiming or closing back those pits, you'll be able to know who had actually worked here, and then you'll be able to ask them. Even if they leave, since they are registered, you can trace them and say you work in this place, so we want you to come and cover what you have done. Now, the other issue is that if people are registered as cooperatives, they are legally known because there is a legal instrument that is given to them. You find out that if you are registered, as a cooperative, certainly there are some things that you can be able to get. Now, if there are mechanized miners who have earth moving machines, it's possible for you to go to Federal Ministry of Mines and then ask the Federal Ministry of Solid Mineral Development. It keeps on changing its name. They are baptizing it here and there. But when you go to them and you speak, they may link you up.
Okay. Sorry, we have another call coming in. Hello, good afternoon. Yes, please. Who's on the line? Hello? We seem to have lost that call
today again.
The network seems to be quite. But I like
that
call and it was clear.
Okay.
So 070-3535-2560, 070-3535-2560. Hello. We've lost that call again. Okay, please go ahead.
Okay. So you see, it's easier for you to get to those places and said, okay, what we want is that to be able to help us. What we do is by the time that they are digging and going down, that's what we call what is on top is overburden before you get to where the distance is, whatsoever deposit you are looking for. So if we have just talked about partnership, being a legally known mining cooperative, it's easier for you to discuss with them. And since they know you legally, they can link you up with those who have those type of machines, and they will help you so that they will remove the overburden for you, remove until you get to where you will be able to mine, and then you mine easily. Then they would have helped you. So I think these are actually some of the things that will be of help to us.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Still, what are the current policies or regulations in place to ensure the safety of ASM workers in Nigeria? Are these policies effective, and how can governments strengthen enforcement of safety standards in ASM without disrupting their livelihoods or getting attacked, as you told us happened to you some time
Well,
ago?
we have the mining law is there on ground. We have the mining regulations is there by the federal government. And then because the mining law tells us that whatever is on the surface, under the surface, and inside the water belongs to the federal government, holding it in trust for the people of Nigeria. So those ones are there. There is mining regulations. There are safety standards that are actually there, that when you go, they will tell you that this is what you are supposed to do. Now, the only question that is actually worrisome is that are they being implemented? Are they actually being enforced? And therefore, I want to use this medium also to call on the federal government that the people who are in the mines office, that they are saddled with this responsibility of monitoring, of going about for advocacies, and then also educating and enlightening the people. They need mobility to enter these particular communities. And then some of them, they are overwhelmed by the work that is actually on their hands. For example, the zonal office in Jos, from here up to Gombe. So you find out how many people are there in those particular offices. When more hands are there, it will help. Of recent, the new minister has introduced what we call mining marshals. And the mining marshals are there, and the civil defense corps are actually there. Well, I just came in and I heard some people were accusing some of the marshals and the cause that they are settling them, and the rest, like I was saying when I heard in JFM, this morning. But I want to say that the people who are saddled with this responsibility should be sure that it is a trust that is given to them, and they should be able to implement it, because you don't know. Tomorrow you may go and buy land. You don't know. It is an unstable land, only for you to build your house there and collapse because you have compromised somewhere. So we should be able to do our work as we are doing it unto God, not because of what we want to get out of it. If we are able to do it like that, I think it will help us better.
Okay, thank you very much, Engineer Benjamin. All right, listener, do you have questions, comments, or personal experiences related to today's topic? If you do, reach out to us via the phone number 070-3535-2560. That is 070-3535-2560. I take it one more time, 070-3535-2560. We would love to hear from you. All right, sir. Before we round up on today's edition of the program, what parting words do you have for the listener out there?
Thank you very much. Knowledge is said to be acquired when what you are taught, you put it into use. There is one German scientist who made this statement, Gorgios Agricola, in 1556. And I think the thought he has is still relevant today. This is what he said. Now a miner, before he begins to mine the veins, must consider 7 things. And these are the 7 things. Consider the situation, consider the condition, consider the water, consider the roads, consider the climate, consider the right to ownership, and then consider your neighbors. If we are able to consider these 7 things that Gorgios Agricola in 1556 said, which is relevant to us now, then our mining would have been doing it, and in a way that it will be beneficial to the people and then to us. And I said, if you fight the land will fight you. But we can make the art work for us better if we follow best practices.
Thank you, Engineer. Excellent, lovely words there. It's clear that while ASM provides livelihood for millions, health and safety concerns remain critical challenges. Addressing these risks requires collaboration between miners, governments, NGOs, and the private stakeholders. By adapting best practices, enhancing training, and implementing practical policies, we can create safer and healthier working environments for miners. A big thank you to my guest, Engineer Gotan Benjamin James, retired Director of Mineral Investment and former Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Plateau State. Thank you, sir, for coming on today's program.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Steve.
Okay, A big thank you to all our callers. Deborah that tried to get through, but we couldn't hear her, but she mentioned her name. And to Mr. X that didn't give us his name, but gave his commendation for the program. And Alhaji Bola for his words there. And I would like to say Mommy Jasmine that called that the babies were making noise in the background. Probably that's why she couldn't hear us. Thank you. You're doing a lovely job with the children. Thank you for trying to be part of the program. So again, thank you for your insights. Thank you, listener, and thank you for the production team, Mary, Ashe, and the others. Thank you very much. I'm the duty continuity announcer, Davo Gyang. My name is Stephen Ego saying bye for now. Join us same time next week. Stay healthy and protect our environment. God bless you.